Kazi ni Kazi, brought to you by the Ministry of Industrialization. The Ministry of Industrialization, imarisha viwanda.
Wananchi wenye bidii hawachoki kutafuta riziki zao. Usinicheke, naendeleza gurudumu la maendeleo. Kazi ni kazi, kazi ni kazi.
A report by the Food and Agriculture Organization classifies Kenya among countries with the lowest forest cover in the world. At 2%, Kenya's forest cover continues to diminish from its previous 10% during independence. And as the struggle to conserve Kenya's environment bites hard, the need for alternative fuel is fast becoming a necessity. Within this backdrop, the Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute, or KIRDI, a parastatal under the Ministry of Industrialization, has developed a technology aimed at creating adequate, reliable and sustainable fuel. This is a gasifier stove, a low-cost, homemade gas cooker with a lot of potential.
This has been generated or has been developed from the rice husks. It could be coffee husks, it could be maize cobs, it could be even pieces of small pieces of firewood. Once the gas is generated, goes through a process of drying and so on, and it is actually can run an engine. According
to KIRDI's senior research scientist Gitobu Mwitari, the gasifier concept has come a long way. The need to dispose of these heaps of rice husks by a small community in the rice-growing region of Mwea. So a group of men and women traveled to the research institution from where a humble idea was developed.
So when they came to us for consultation, we advised they could use gasifier stoves, which now we were given the responsibility of designing, fabricating, and actually training them on how to make gasifier stoves.
From a commodity previously regarded as worthless waste, often disposed of by burning on site, these rice husks have now been converted into a valuable asset.
We convert it into carbon. Before it comes to become a carbon black like charcoal, we have already used the component of the fuel as gas. So what remains is charcoal. This charcoal can be made into briquettes, and the briquettes can be used again to burn on a charcoal stove.
In went a simple idea and out came a success story. The gasifier stove has now come in handy to provide much needed fuel to the residents of these rice fields where trees exist no more.
These are thousands and thousands of tons which are being wasted here. They have been thrown to this place by millers. If this can be turned to fuel, it can help these people, and these people cannot have any problem as far as cooking is concerned.
Depending on the crop grown in an area, the stove innovators say any agricultural waste can now be used to produce energy through a process known as gasification.
When you light it, the little air allowed to contact the fuel converts it into changes it into carbon.
It's this reaction inside the stove which produces synthetic gas. This gas contains approximately 20% hydrogen, 20% carbon monoxide, small amounts of methane, 10% carbon dioxide, and 50% nitrogen. As combustion takes place, carbon monoxide, a poisonous gas, is also produced. And as specialists say, it should be treated as such.
It's a gas which is a bit poisonous. It's poisonous. So it is advisable if when you are using a gas fire, you use it in a very open cooking environment where enough air is reaching the person around the cooking facility.
Besides this challenge, the gasifier stove comes with many benefits.
This cooking system is very clean. You have no soot, no smoke. Gasification actually is more environmentally friendly than allowing the waste to rot in the fields.
Now known as Kirinyaga Ecosystems, the community-based organization is quick in spreading the word about the newly found innovation to communities in the county of Kirinyaga and its environs.
We go through the administration, the chief, the DC and the DO. When they are holding their meeting, that is when we chip in. We capacity build groups because actually it is cost effective.
And as Kenya levels the ground towards Vision 2030, stakeholders are confident that the gasifier stove illuminates a promising future.
Our next stage on development in this technology is to design and fabricate gasifier stoves for use in institutions and industrial application. We have in mind the generation of power.
Such is the capacity of a simple gas cooker, which, if adopted, will not only cut down huge fuel expenses, but will provide users with uninterrupted fuel supply for their daily activities.
Kazi ni kazi.
The gasifier is a much newer generation of gas stoves that we are now targeting for purposes of, one, improving the combustion levels, and two, improving the environmental emissions, and thirdly, a system that also generates charcoal while cooking. The initial request was from the people of Kirinyaga on finding ways or solutions to dealing with the agro waste that is generated from activities of rice farming. However, the technology for efficiency in terms of cook stoves is not limited to Kirinyaga. It is a national call. Indeed, it is something that is easily adaptable to the rest of Africa, if I might say. Our research activities are focusing on technologies that can be uptaken by the SMEs so that they can create enterprises, so that they can create employment, and therefore supporting the Vision 2030.
Kazi ni kazi, brought to you by the Ministry of Industrialization. The Ministry of Industrialization, imarisha viwanda.
Ni wananchi wenye bidii, hawachoki kutafuta riziki zao. Usinicheke.